What's up, Pirates? Wraith here with Awakened CCG, and today we're going to be playing some EB01 Odin. So if you guys don't know what this leader does, so according to the rules, your character cards with the type Land of Wano without counter have plus 1000 counter. So I'll give you a quick example. This Yamato here is a Land of Wano card. It has Wano country. So it means it has 1k counter. This Denjiro, same thing. It is actually a 1000 counter you can use from hand. So this means all of your bricks become counters. This Izo, Denjiro, Yamato. I believe that is it for this list. But that's 11 cards that are essentially bricks, but they are 1k counters now. So you basically have no bricks. And then when this Izo is on the field, you have, every single brick as a 2k card that you can use. So super insane. I have a Patreon guide. Shout out to Captain Skis. He's been putting in the work on this deck. He's been testing it for over a month, refining the list. If you guys want a detailed breakdown on every single card, all the meta matchups and the rogue matchups, you can go to my Patreon. It'll be the first link down in the description below. But let's go ahead and get started and run some games. Okay, so first up, we're going to have a purple blue Croc, a Blurple Croc, which is interesting. I'm not sure how this matchup's gonna go. I think this is a rogue deck. I mean, it's a rogue deck versus a rogue deck, right? We don't have any 5 drops. We have a Momo. We are going first though. I believe this is an okay keep because we have that Hody Jones, so we can probably play that just for that extra pressure. Here, the Croc can never get rid of this Momo, so we can play it for 1 Dawn. Next turn, we'll be able to use the effect, swing 7. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use the effect. So we found at least one 5-drop. I mean, it's not the ideal one, but it'll be usable. So we can definitely take that and play it next turn with our Hiyori. So he takes the life there. Hopefully, we can, find one off our top life or off of our draw. And so he goes 5 at the Momo, so we don't actually get a life here, which is fine, right? We definitely like these Momos getting attacked, right? It's technically like a blocker, essentially, right? You use their effect, they replace themselves, and then you just go ahead and wait for your opponent to swing at it. And so now we have another option. I'm not sure if we Yamato here, like Hiyori Yamato. Maybe we play this Yamato and swing into this, which I think is probably the best play, just because there's no way he gets an event back, right? So he probably wasn't expecting that. Now he can't get an event back with that blocker. So we're in a good spot. We have a Yamato. Next turn for 7 Dawn, we'll be able to establish a 5-cost Wano. That way we can use our effect. The leader actually has that first passive effect and then a second effect, which I didn't read, but it's Dawn ×1. When attacking, if you have a 5-cost or greater Land of Wano character in play, this leader gets plus 1000 power until your next turn. So essentially, you swing 7k on your attacking turn, and then on your defensive turn, you are a 6k body. And then we actually probably want a Hody Jones next turn, so we're gonna actually counter out using the Hiyori, which is fine. It's gonna be a lot of pressure here, right? And we're gonna rest that Dawn. So let's see if he gives us 2 cards here. I mean, we can't use our leader effect, right, and become a 6k base, which does suck a little bit. But I mean, we're gonna have this board that's very established. We actually want the Croc to counter here, and then I'm gonna go face with the 8. Yeah, because that okay. So he gave me 2 1Ks, which is even better. Now I can just go face. That 5k body really doesn't do anything for him. What did he get? Okama way down -1, draw 2. Okay, that's pretty annoying, but I think we should be all right. Next turn we have our Newgate turn. I wish we could have played the Yamato earlier. Unfortunately, that was not in one of our options. We have a big swing here. Looks like he's trying to go face, which is fine by me. We have a Denjiro. I low-key want to play this Denjiro, but I think we can just give it up. because we have boss monsters to play. No shot. He leaves 4 Dawn up, right? But like, just having another Hody is just insane. Oh, yeah, I think we just Hody and clear board here. Um, we can 9 cost, potentially. I think Hody just might be it, though. Hody might just be the play. I mean, there's no way we die next turn, especially once we start clearing both of these. Or we can just go Newgate and go face, right? Go Newgate, go face. Let's see what happens with this AK swing. So he takes. We probably don't swing the Yamato. We probably just go Newgate, swing 7 at leader. Probably the play. Yeah, that's fine. I think this was overall better. We could have gone for board, but putting ourselves at 2 life is kind of sketchy. I'm not sure if there's a point of return, regardless of what my turn was. But this way, he's going to be swinging onto my 7K base leader, which means he has to use Dawn. And I want to take some life here. Maybe I can go down to 1. I have Hody Jones on the crackback, so Hody Jones is going to rest any blocker. I have a Newgate. If he just plays 1 blocker, I can just use Newgate effect and pop it. So I have a bunch of good options here for my lethal turn on the next on the next turn. So it should be my 6th turn. So he's swinging at the Hody actually. So we're fine. We're fine giving counter here. We need this Hody for a lethal next turn. So we're gonna go ahead and 2K out of that. Then we can take that for sure. Okay, so we are in a pretty good position here. I think we can just win. So we'll go 10 at lead. He has no blockers on board, so I think we just use all our down for lethal, and we should have the win. Yeah, we should be able to just math the win out after he finishes countering this. He's probably gonna go 2-2s to go to 11. What did he draw? Draw 1. Draw 1. Oh, it's a cycle. Okay. Oh, and he still took it. That's kind of awkward. All right, so that should be game. All right, let's go ahead and find another match here. This Odin is very saucy. Okay, RP Law. So this is a matchup that I can actually show you guys a great showcase for this leader here. We're going to go first always, and we have a pretty cracked hand here. We do not have the Hiyori, but we have that super early Denjiro, which is amazing, right? We can play Denjiro or Izo, so we're definitely keeping this hand. Turn 1, we're going to open Momo every time because we're going to search with him next turn, maybe hopefully find a Hiyori, just so we can cycle it out, save a little bit of Dawn. Let's see here. And we don't have a Hiyori, but we have a Paradise Waterfall, which is our only option, but that's fine. And then we're going to go ahead and swing. Right, so boom, now they're at 3 life here because they shouldn't be countering out of this. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and see what he does. He might, I don't know if he wants to swing at this. Maybe he wants to just spin it if he's in a leader effect anyway. Okay, so this tells me he's not going to leader effect, which is fine by me, right? This Momo is basically being used as a blocker, and he really didn't do much this turn. Okay, so he's setting up, which is fine. Now, I think um, I would love to Yamato rest this and then swing into it, but he has a Shiraya, so that doesn't make sense. I think we just play the Ezo here. We play the Ezo. Attach 1, swing 7, we're 6k base. And he has the early Shiraya, which hurts. But I think we're in a good spot. We're definitely in a good spot going to 7 Dawn next turn. Also still have the Yamato to be able to potentially do some cheeky stuff next turn and rest some of his units. So he used the Raise Max and an Otama, which is really good for us. That's 2 cards out of his hand and 1 2k, right? So those 2 cards, very good for us while we're going to keep continuing applying that 7k body pressure like this Dendro that's going to hit the board next turn. And he can swing once at me, right? And I think we're just going to go ahead and Yamato. We're going to just go ahead and Yamato and give him a 1k. I would like to see some of my late game cards. I'm not sure what he's debating here. Okay, so he didn't even swing, which is fine. Okay, we have a Odin curve. Wow. So that is pretty insane for us. We always play here to clear board. Now I'm just debating. I think we can just go 5 into 4, and then we go 8 into 6. So a top deck Hody there is definitely such a big swing. And I don't even mind if he gives us his whole hand to block. Okay, so he'd rather take the Shiraya over the Kid, which in my opinion is the wrong decision. I know I swing very heavy, but I do not believe the Shiraya save there was the right decision. Maybe he only had enough for that actual. What he gave me a 2k. Maybe he's bricked. Maybe he's bricked in hand. Maybe it was a 2k and 2 bricks, right? So if I'm swinging 8 at the 6, is dying regardless, and so that 5 and a 4 maybe it was the only option for him to save 1 unit. Now advantage wise, we have such a big lead here. We're both at 3 life. I have 7 cards to his 3, so that's +4 on the resources. I have a Hody compared to his blocker and Shachi and Penguin on board. So essentially, I would say I have a nice advantage going into these following turns. And so he just wants to kill my Hody Jones, but I am going to give him 2 2Ks here. I do not want this card to die. It's just too much momentum, and we have an abundance of 2Ks. And then do we take this? What's our next play going to look like? We're on 9 Dawn. We can go Yamato, Ezo, swing. So I believe we're going to have to give up the Dendro here, but that's totally fine. So that Shirai is going to get killed next turn. Wondering what he's going to play here. So a Bon Clay. Interesting. Okay, we can definitely swing at the Bon Clay, I believe. Yeah, because we don't want that on the crackback. Although, do we have to actually worry about it? It's going to be at most an 8k swing. Let me think here. Because if we swing, if we if we kill the Shiraya and the Shachi, then I think we're in a way better spot than just the one swing here. The only issue is we won't have a Dawn standing, which I kind of want. But I think that's a risk we're going to have to take. We do have the Ezo ability, right? For the next turn, we're going to be able to play it. So, yeah, I think this is fine. Because if I rest the Bantam here, he has the potential to just block with the Shariah, negating one of the swings. So I think this is the better option here. We swing, yeah, 7-4 and then 8-5. Just clearing his whole board. Still leaving him with low resources. But now we have a 2K, a 1K, and then an EZO ability where we'll actually be able to use this Paradise Waterfall as a 2K. And so he's just swinging 8-8, so we don't even have the EZO ability here. We can just give a 1K. No block, 1K. And now he can potentially put the rest of his Dawn on his lead and swing 11. I'm not sure if that's the right play because it's just 1-2K for me. No blocker, give him a 2K. So at this point, I think the game is just ours. He can't bottom anything. This EZO is going to have so much power. And we have a Hiyori. Nothing to play. So I might just keep it in hand. But we actually have a pretty good turn here. Like that's always dying there. He has to let that go. We don't want to swing too heavy because that Shariah would just become that. So this is big enough to warrant a potential block. If not, we're just going to be swinging fat, putting him to 0 life here, leaving 1 Dawn up. So we're going to go, what is that? 5 Dawn here. No, 4 Dawn here, 3 Dawn here. And swing 11-11. And I think he just has to take all the way. Oh, he just wants to block with the Shariah. That's fine. But as you guys can see, I have not even seen a single 9-drop boss monster, but I've seen one Hody Jones. So this Hody Jones makes this matchup super bearable, especially with them being at 4 life. You can just put on the pressure, apply the pressure, put the pedal to the metal, gas it, make sure you're on the offensive. You want to go first so you can put them on the back foot because the RP law defense on this deck is very limited. So you don't have to see much. You you guys saw. I saw one Hody Jones and it just completely changed the dynamic of how the matchup was going. Right? I played my first 7K body. He was able to, spin it, bottom deck that. Okay, whatever. I see my Hody Jones. Your board is getting cleared. I was at 4 life on my first Hody, and I'm still at technically 4 life if I don't Hody. So he hasn't even touched my life, right? Again, this leader effect making you a 6K base is just insane. It literally is insane. And so now my opponent has very limited resources, a very weak board, and honestly, not much plays on what he can actually do to survive the next turn. Especially knowing I can just restand this Dendro on any single swing, and then I have a 2K as well. So it's just super good for me. And then so we're gonna use that as a 2K, no blocker, restand. We save the Dendro. He has no more swings. He can't even swing into my leader. He can spin the Yamato to bottom deck it, but I think he just dies the next turn. And so I hope you guys can kind of see what this deck is capable of. My opponent didn't do anything necessarily like wrong. I feel like it's just a lot of pressure you have to deal with, especially if I see my cards, right? So I like raid you here just to try to get some counter, but obviously that's not going to matter too much. We'll go 9, get 3 cards out of hand. And then at this point, it's just a math win, right? He gives me 3 cards. He has 1 left. I go 7, and then I just shove 14. Or he can take, and then I just split the Dawn. yeah, so GG's. If you guys want to see more information about this deck, how it runs, what every single card is in the deck, why it's there, as well as matchups for the meta, I have a article on Patreon. It's going to be the first link down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy playing Odin. This leader is so fun to play. Obviously, it's not, crazy tier 1, one of the top decks, but I think it is a very strong rogue deck, and I would, honestly speaking, put it somewhere in tier 2. This deck is pretty fun. It's insane, and if you learn it and learn its matchups, I think when people aren't expecting a deck like this, you're going to have an easy time in the tournament. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support you guys have shown me. I want to say that I have a lot of big things planned for OP07. So be on the lookout for that. But with that being said, you guys have a wonderful day. Like this video, comment down below if you found this video fun. And if you're going to try out Odin, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.